This week with year 3, we're going to focus on doing something a little bit different to what we've done before. We're still going to be looking at drawing a portrait, but it's going to be a little bit different, a little bit unfamiliar. So I'll explain that later when we get to it. Today, what I want you to do though is I want you to focus on when you're drawing, really being mindful. So that involves you being focused and present in the moment and not thinking about anything else, just thinking about what you're doing, the drawing that you're making, and what's right in front of you. I'm going to start today by giving you some instructions. So I want you to do this along with me. You can do more or less of these things if you want to, but I think it will really help you focus and calm down and relax into what we're doing today. So we're going to start by just relaxing our body. So I want you to focus on how you're sitting. We call it posture. So focus on how you're sitting. Are your shoulders relaxed? Is your back nice and straight? Are you feeling comfortable? So we want to be loosey-goosey. Give your arms a wiggle if you need to. Relax your back, relax your shoulders, and try and sit up nice and straight. Then we're going to take a few deep breaths in and out. You can do more of these if you want to. I'm going to do 3. And we're basically going to breathe in like we're sucking up spaghetti for 5 seconds. And then breathe out for 5 seconds as well. So we'll breathe in like we're sucking up spaghetti. And then breathe out for 5 seconds. All right, let's go. 3 breaths. Okay, you can do more breaths if you want to. So if you want to pause it now and do a few more, you can do 10 of them, you can do 5, or you can just stick with the 3 that we've done together. So the next thing I want you to think about is your pencil. All you're going to need today is a grey lead pencil. So I want you to pick up your pencil and think about how you're holding it. Are you holding it really tightly? If you are, maybe try and loosen it a little bit. Are you holding it really, really close to the end, or are you holding it a bit further away? Just be mindful and present of how you're holding your pencil, and maybe see if you can change your grip as well to make it more comfortable. Make sure that you're focusing on your proper pencil grip if you can, because that's actually a lot more comfortable for your hands. Even if you have to think about it a little bit more, it's a good way for you to practice being mindful about how you're holding your pencil. So your little alligator grip, I think that's how you do it properly. We know my pencil grip's not very good. And just focus on holding your pencil correctly. Okay, so we're going to start today by drawing what we call a silhouette. So you'll need a piece of paper and just a grey lead. So a silhouette is basically an outline that has no details. Think of it kind of like a shadow puppet. So when we make a shadow puppet, it's just an outline and it doesn't have any details, but you still need to be able to see what it is. When we do a silhouette of a person, we would normally do it from the side. We would call it a profile. So if we were going to look at me, this is the profile of me. And if we were going to draw a silhouette, we would focus on the lines that go down here, around my mouth, around my neck. We're just going to focus on the face today. As we go back, we would look at how a line would wrap around my head and come down. But we're just focusing on that outside line. No details on the inside. It'll just be like tracing your head, basically. That's what I want you to start with. I'm going to do mine in just a moment and I'm going to come back and show you. Okay, so I've drawn my silhouette here. So I've done my best to try and match what I look like a little bit. It's probably a little bit hard to see because of my grey lead lines. What I'm now going to do is I'm actually going to outline this in texture. You can choose whatever color texture that you like. So that's my next step. Okay, now that I've done my outline, I also rubbed out my grey lead lines, okay? The next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to fill this silhouette with describing words. And I want you to try and describe yourself. So I'm going to do mine, and I'm just going to use black, I think. Actually, no, I'm going to use colors inside. It's up to you what colors you do, but here's the thing. Whatever you do on the inside, you'll do the opposite on the outside. So for me, I think I'm going to do my words in colors on the inside of my silhouette, which means when I come to doing the background, I'm going to do it black and white. So whichever thing you pick to do now, you're going to do the opposite for the next step. All right, I'm going to show you. Okay, I've got my textures here to do the next steps. You can use pencils, whatever you like. And remember, I said if you're going to do your words on the inside that describe you in black, you'll do your background in color. And if you do your words on the inside in color, we're going to do our background black. So I'm going to do my inside in color, and I've chosen textures. And I've also decided that for mine, I'm going to do cool colors because they're my favorite colors. I'm now going to have a think about some of the words that represent me. And I'm going to be filling up this silhouette of my head with these words. All right, I'm going to show you, but I'm going to zoom through it. All right, so I've filled my silhouette up with all of these words that I think describe me and some of the things that I enjoy. And I've tried to make my words sort of fit the shape a little bit. I've got a couple of gaps, and I might try and think of some little words I can put in there as well. But I've tried to make some of the shapes really fit into the silhouette. I'm now going to work on the background. And so when you do the background, we're going to do the background in black and white. So you can use a texture for this, or a pencil, or even just a grey lead. Like I said, if you're doing black and white words on the inside, you'll do a coloured background, but I want you to do this the same way. I'm going to do black and white background because I did coloured words. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a bit of a squiggle, and we don't want to do too crazy. I'm just going to do a few lines in the background. Ooh. And I want them to go all the way to the page, edge of the page, so that wasn't very good. And I'm creating lots of different spaces here. Inside each of these spaces, I want you to think about a different pattern that you can do. So I've created quite a few spaces here. That was probably a bit silly. And you're going to use your black marker or pencil or whatever it is that you've got to fill up all these spaces. I've made lots of gaps. That was silly of me. All right, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to think of lots of different patterns I can include because I want every single one to have a different pattern, and I'll come back to you once I'm done. And there we have it. That's my finished artwork. So we've got our silhouette, our words that describe us on the inside, and beautiful patterns on the outside. Like I said, you can do your words in black if you want to, but if you're doing that, then you'll do your background in colour. All right, I hope you really enjoyed doing something a little bit different and a little bit more mindful in art today. It's sometimes good to get outside your comfort zone and try something that we've never done before. So I had a lot of fun doing this, and I hope you did too. I'll see you next time.